I wonder if there's like, no, I don't just wonder it. I know it's true. There's probably like something out there where every time like an actor or person dies, they predict that like a show will get watched more suddenly, or a movie will get.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so they like they try to like control it. Like if they see someone's about to die, they're like, oh, let's adjust this and then blah blah blah.
It's usually,
not that complicated.
It's not usually before they die, but there's definitely a market for things like. I tend to notice that a celebrity will die, and all of a sudden, one of the major streaming services will have quite a few more of their work. Mm-hmm. So because they know people are going to watch it, they want to. I remember when Karen Black died, I went home and I watched House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh yeah,
I love her performance in that. But I mean, I'm sure Airport 76 and some of the other work she did, just got a pretty good little bump after she. And I mean, that's probably the truth with most celebrities. I know. I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for it. I understand the man was a genius. I can appreciate his work, but I am so burnt out on Van Halen.
Oh.
Because after he passed, it was all anybody was playing, and it's like, please, just play anything else today. I was never the biggest fan to begin with. And again, like I said, I appreciate the genius behind it. I understand that he is an absolute guitar legend. But sometimes it's like, okay, I can't eat filet mignon breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
I need a little variety, please.
Well, I think it's just one of those things like, so for me, this is where I'm going to get a lot of crap, but I will totally accept it. With people and like their love for like Metallica, like I appreciate Metallica, but like, and I understand that they were like genre defining, very much so for
sure.
But something about it just, it always felt like they were just like good. Like to me, I never remember being like, this is beyond anything I've ever heard. Of course, I was going back to it, but then I listened to. What's funny is I'll listen to Black Sabbath and be like, well, these guys, like they were doing this way before anyone else, and it sounded. It's like I love a lot of their tones, but I've listened to several albums. I bought a couple on LP to listen with. Oh no, did I don't. Okay, good. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know what I hit. I was like, I know which one to push.
Where am I going?
Oh God, I forgot. I have to put the thing in it that hurts it. So I just made it stronger.
You're too busy ragging on Metallica.
I'm not ragging on them so much, but it's very much like we were talking about the Cowboy Bebop thing, where I'm just like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying I dislike it. I'm tired of people like getting mad when I don't love it.
Yeah, don't pretend that it's the last defining word
like
in anything.
I'm not like people like I'll walk up to them and start talking about David Wise from Donkey Kong Country, and people just look at me like I'm some idiot, and then expect me to like just swallow their love for freaking Metallica as if. I don't know. It's just annoying because with anything, if you're going to shove it down my throat, I don't give you my consent. I mean, maybe certain people I might consent to.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
No. I get what you mean. I have a weird relationship with Metallica because I grew up on the Black Album. Like that was one of my mom's favorite albums of all time. And, anytime we took a road trip, it was always playing. And then I didn't realize until later that they actually did a lot harder stuff. And I mean, I love their early work, and I'm a huge fan. Obviously, I mean, I've been to see them a couple times. But I agree with you that people really should, like, I understand your fandom. I understand your obsession. There are certain things that I absolutely just lose my mind over. But at the same time, I understand that not everybody is going to feel the way I do.
Yeah.
And it's a little juvenile to believe that because you think this is the best and you have 4 or 5 friends that all agree with you, that you're just right across the board.
Well, it was just more of the, like, your opinion now means nothing.
Yeah, because you're wrong.
Because you don't love them. Again, it's not even a dislike because I listen to
you need to absolutely just throw yourself on the altar of Metallica or Cowboy Bebop or whatever's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a reason they're popular. Mm-hmm. There's a reason they're so well respected because they're very well done. But again, everybody has their own tastes. And I think it's kind of disrespectful to think that somebody else's taste has to absolutely align with yours.
Yeah, it was Master Puppets. So I listened to that whole album. There's like 8 songs, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember I loved the last song on the first side of the LP. I remember being like, I think it's the 4th song, whatever that one is.
Okay.
And I remember this is fantastic. This is so cool. Love this. And I'm always bad with names of songs because I listen to them all. Like I listen to the whole album, so I'm really
I know what you
bad
mean.
But
It's a little difficult for me sometimes too. Like I'll have an album in my car and I'll listen to it over and over and I'll be absolutely obsessed. And then I'll have to look at the back of the thing and start breaking it down. Like, is that what that's called? Who would have thunk it? But yeah, no, I get that as well.
All right, I think I have to do this little thing where I get what's his nuts. Yeah, that's it. I have to save this guy because he gonna get. Well, he has been bit. I know he's in there.
He gonna get it.
But I'm not gonna go in there because I don't feel like it. Actually, while I'm over here, I might as well get this mask.
Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt.
Or maybe it could, I guess. I mean, with the limited availability of things,
I just start making horrible noises, and then as I'm dying, but you guys don't know that, Ray is just narrating. Oh, it appears that Steven is dying, like an old radio voice. It did hurt him.
What a turn of fate! An absolute slobber knocker. I've always loved that phrase. That's so funny to me.
And this one's always
the song you were thinking of. The 4th track on that album is "Welcome Home," Sanitarium.
That's it. Then. Yeah, I remember this.
Great song.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
I got it right.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs on that album. I always like Metallica instrumentals on rainy days. It's just weird, like, I'll be driving and it'll just be like kind of gloomy and rainy, and I love Orion, and it's just like a 7-minute instrumental, and it feels like a rainy day.
Yeah, and I think sometimes I get caught up in the culture behind it, and it's not the band that I dislike. It's just like the people who just like regurgitate their love for bands like that.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
We were just talking about that, but just particularly with Metallica, the way that they'll praise them, or like, there's so many little things that will kind of deter from it. So it's like when you watch The Godfather the first time, there's so much more that you're, as a person who has seen all the culture around it, is getting from The Godfather. That you're getting all the parodies, like the guy getting shot, and it's a sad scene, but he's like on the car, and it's kind of comedic because it's so over the top. But if you had seen it originally,
it was just
horrific. Yeah. I remember watching The Exorcist and just the voice of Linda Blair.
Oh yeah,
just. I'm just like.
I love that your possessed Linda Blair is just Assy McGee.
That'd be.
It's so good. I love that.
I almost said a Sancherism.
Oh, it's so perfect. It's so good. I love that.
I'll have to bring him out occasionally during this run.
That was another. It's funny that you bring up fan bases, though. Like, there are certain things that I shy away from, or from mentioning in public, because I don't want to be associated with the fan base.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure there's one big one, and I'm sure you might be able to guess this.
Can I guess it?
Yeah, you can.
Rick and Morty?
It absolutely is Rick and Morty.
Yes.
It's a very good show. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
There's a lot of smart stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I love Justin Roiland just free flowing with things, but the fan base is so embarrassing sometimes.
I agree.
I just don't want to be associated with it.
Well, it's funny because it's very much like, I hate it when people try to bring up a political thing and then they bring up the extreme of it.
Yeah.
That's like 1%, but that 1% of Rick and Morty fans
are just so
awful.
over the top. And then, I can't. one of my favorite hobby horses here. The popularity of Pickle Rick blows my mind. I remember walking into going to the mall and going through like Hot Topic and Spencer's, and it's like I could outfit my entire life in this: socks, shirts, hats, underwear, gloves, jackets, jeans, kitchenware, toasters, pans, pots, glassware, plates, forks, spoons. I can get Pickle Rick on anything. Yep. It's already there. It's already tailor-made. There it is. If I was that big of a Pickle Rick fan, it could be on everything in my life.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's just
you literally could have a house and not a single item in that house
would not have Pickle Rick on it. And I can't understand why that was the one thing that I mean, aside from like the big Disney stuff like Mickey Mouse and things, why is that the character that's literally on everything? That's really funny because I feel like what made that so stupid was that it was as dumb as it was. It was almost like an anti-joke. Yeah.
But I think that that was kind of them. I don't know if they understood it was going to be that big, or they were like, we're literally going to try and genetically engineer the dumbest.
Well, the whole I think the smartest part. What? Uh-oh. What'd you do?
I forgot to grab the serum in the room. Oops. And he may die.
Oops. Oh well.
Oh well.
Oopsie doodle.
But later he helps me.
No, I feel like the discussion there was, all right, so the whole point is Rick is trying to avoid having to actually deal with his feelings. What's the most asinine thing he can do to avoid this? And they're like, oh, he turns himself into a pickle. And everyone chuckles and goes, yeah, that's funny. We'll do that. Let's go with that. And it's just sort of a filler thing. It could have been anything. Yeah. He could have been constructing a weather balloon to go around the world in 80 days, just to avoid his feelings. I mean, that's the whole point. And that was what they chose, and it just exploded. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me what people will fixate on.
Well, and that's people will look at that, but then let's maybe not pick on Disney, but
don't do that.
So let it go. Territory. Let it go. I'm sorry, Jeremy. The song, I understand, it's fantastic, and I do. I remember seeing it in theaters and being like, this is a really catchy song. This is fantastic. Sure. I appreciate it for what it is. I think what ruined it for me is moments after she sings this beautiful song, she starts going against everything she just sang about in that song, which is like, who cares what they think? I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna be strong. Hey, will you help us go in? And just runs off, not cool anymore. And I was just like, no, I wanted her to be like, screw you guys. I'm gonna kill you now because I can.
Magic Ice Queen.
Yeah.
I like the idea of her finishing that song, and then the rest of that movie is just 45 minutes of her on the toilet, just sweating and just grunting one out. And that's it. Just biting her lip like, fuck. I knew I shouldn't eat that. I knew I should have not done that. And that's the entirety of the rest of the movie. And it's an ice toilet, of course.
Yes, she made it
in her giant ice palace. Yeah. I mean, at least that's so easy to clean.
And then, of course, you have to have different fanfares every once in a while. You hear the dun, 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 dun.
Just to be fair, that wasn't an original thought. It was only halfway there. There was a comedian that did a bit about. He was talking about Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
about Mel Gibson pitching that movie. I want to do a movie about Jesus. Okay, we can get on board with that, but I'm only going to do the last couple of days of his life where he's just beaten to shit and crucified. And then this guy goes on. I can't remember the comedian. I feel like a jerk for not remembering his name. It was a really brilliant bit, but he's like, it's like pitching an idea about an Albert Einstein movie, but all it is the 3 hours that he had food poisoning and he's on the toilet. And I just love the idea of Einstein just hunched over on the toilet, just sweating and praying for it to be over.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that occurred to me with Elsa, but it's such a funny fit in my brain.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, yeah, these puzzle pieces go together. Absolutely. Elsa on the toilet. Comedy gold. Awesome winner.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that... See, that's what Assy McGee was. That show was literally them hey, what if we made a show about a butt? But why didn't people love Assy McGee, but they love Pickle Rick. What happened? They're just as dumb. They're both stupid.
You know what? I'm going to tell you one of the
I'm
reasons that I had a hard time watching that show.
Because it's dumb.
No, not because I watch plenty of dumb stuff. Yeah, I've watched the silliest things, and I can get a kick out of most things. You know, I can appreciate a lot of stuff. But one of the reasons Assy McGee took a while to click for me is because he's so unintelligent.
Oh yeah,
it's so hard to understand what he's saying some of the time, and it makes that show harder to watch. Like, you know, the only person you can understand is Sanchez. He's talking half the time. You're like, okay, I get what he's doing, but you know that deep moaning like grumble that Assy has is so hard to get, and I think that was sort of a stumbling block for that.
That's fair. I think that, but that was the thing like that made me love the show was kind of like when I first got into System of a Down. I loved that I had to kind of like re-listen to it. Hey, you don't get another chance. You got shocked.
Hey there, fella. Ooh yeah. Use that boot, mama.
It was System of a Down you had to like re-listen to and go, oh, he's saying this, and that's so cool, and I like that, and I appreciate this. And there was just like, you kind of feel like a nerd. You're like, oh, right here he's saying banana, 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 terracotta pie. And you're like, that's so neat. I want to know more about this. But no, that's not actually what
I have a really interesting memory of System of a Down. And of course, this is... We were just talking earlier about feeling older, and this is not going to help me. But I remember a friend of mine at the time, we took his brand new copper-colored Saturn up to Tower Records and bought the brand new System of a Down album, their very first one, because he had heard Sugar on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, we have to get this album. And I mean... Once I listened to the thing, I was totally on board. It was such a good album. But I remember going up there and getting it, and at the same time, because I'm an uber nerd, we went and bought a bunch of Magic cards, and it was when Mercadian Masks had come out. And I just very vividly remember it, because there was one card in there that had a beautiful piece of artwork, and it just, my mind totally associates those things sort of in a triangle together. His car, Tower Records, System of a Down's first album, and Mercadian Masks.
Oh, that's an interesting mix.
Yeah, it was just, you know, I kind of got all of them in one day, and it's a memory that kind of stuck around that way, and I really like that one. So, another stupid little thing, real fast. Every time you go into the inventory, I shudder a little bit. I watched Brandon play this not terribly long ago, and he is very OCD about the inventory.
Oh.
So, like, all the healing items need to be in a line, and they all need to be grouped together with their same thing, and all of the ammo and all the guns. So he would sit there and, like, move things down one piece, to just make sure everything was together. So I think the majority of watching him play that game was watching him reorganize his inventory. Like, we'd get 3 minutes of gameplay and then, like, 10 minutes of inventory.
Yeah, the only one that I did that with was in Resident Evil 3, the first one. They coded ammo or weapons as red, healing as green, and then blue for like medical stuff.
Okay.
And what it would do was it would cause me to want to have them all bundled together. And so that was frustrating to me. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was just going to heal, because I might as well. I could probably take another hit, but I have plenty of healing. So I've been there, and I know, and I definitely did organize a little bit better when I was playing like Resident Evil 4 or 5 when you had the little boxes. But yeah, it's funny going back to Resident Evil 5. It's such a good game, but it's just a little bit more silly and actiony. Like, I remember going through Resident Evil. Yes, I was hoping for that.
There you go.
5, and my friends were watching me play The Last Fight with Wesker. Did you ever play that one?
No.
There's literally a point where a boulder, like twice the size of Chris, falls over, and his answer...
Oh, spoiler alert, by the way.
Spoiler alert. Oh, what?
Well, at the moment, Wesker is still a good guy.